Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Honor. It is turn 16 of the Phlegra multiplayer game, and we're in a pretty good spot. We did have one unfortunate thing happen last turn. The AI Mekonian attacked Tifia, where I did have troops patrolling, and they won the battle just barely. My Gigante warriors went berserk. My infantry, They did okay until the Heal It warriors broke and then got run down by the swordsmen, mainly from behind. And so they got cut up a little bit. My Trophimos commander routed, which was, I think, what did it. And when the Trophimos commander ran away because some of the swordsmen got behind my line because they had more units than I did. The Heal It warriors and archers ran away. So they took a lot of casualties fleeing because Heal It warriors are not terribly fast. They're a little faster than swordsmen, but often in combat, a 3 difference in combat speed does not mean they can get out of a square before being hit. But my Gigante warriors went crazy, killed a whole bunch of the enemy, routed almost the entire army. The last 2 were finally brought down by this heroine and these 2 witch hunters spamming small fire elementals. In fact, let's look at the battle. I'll show the battle real quick. So they had the 2 witch hunters, and the witch hunters actually have several gems. 4 fire gems and an astral pearl each, which I think is an interesting... I mean, it's the AI, what can you say? So my cavalry got distracted here, and my Gigantes. The enemy infantry took heavy casualties coming in. And then in the melee, they did alright. Some of my helots routed there. Others routed then. My Trophimos commander ran with them for no real reason. Back here, my archers were cut apart, while my giants, who had gone crazy, charged up here and stabbed a bunch of independent archers. That guy went back alone and got a little bit shreked, while these guys were running around in the backfield. This heroine, not the crossbone, the heroine, Angelique is really good at killing giants, because this is a Mekonian national hero, and she has this heroic damage special, so she does armor-piercing damage, and her damage is tripled against larger enemies. And with Blood Surge active, she has 22 attacks, so she kills giants really quickly. Especially with this blessing that gives her luck as well, she's hard to take down. So that's very dangerous. Now you can see she stabbed that giant to death very quickly, and she stabbed him to death very quickly. If it hadn't been for Angelique, I probably would have still won this on the strength of my berserking giants. Remaining on the field were Angelique, 1 witch hunter, and like 5 swordsmen or something. But they are putting my fort under siege. So I'm breaking the siege. Aristotle, since Angelique is on the field, now he does have a defense skill of 23. And he can cast Iron Skin on himself to make his protection much higher. That said, Angelique could still potentially kill him. So I have him up here on the flank, but I'm actually going to set him back here, because I don't want him going... I want Angelique to be engaged first. Now, if Angelique attacks HULK SMASH, she's going to get ripped to shreds, because HULK SMASH just has so many attacks. She might get a hit on HULK SMASH, and she would do damage, but he has so many hit points he can absorb the hit and then strike back with 5 attacks of his own, and almost certainly rip her apart in 1 round. So, we're going to break the siege. My infantry will go in. This 1 cataphract will go in. HULK SMASH will go in. We'll have Aristotle behind, and Antiphates, I forgot to script him. He is going to first Iron Skin himself and then just spam out Earth Meld, just in case. Now, Earth Meld only has a range of 25, so I'm going to have to put him up right behind the infantry. And we'll put the archers there as well. We'll put my commanders up there, and we'll put Aristotle right here. Aristotle has these 2 main gouges of parrying, because Ulm has been sending them to me, as I think I said last turn. He sent me another one, which is nice. And I also had a really good random event, where I found the lair of a troll, got a whole bunch of random gems, a little bit of gold, and a shield of valor. So my newly recruited tyrant has Earth 3 was his random. And that's actually really good, because Earth 3 means it bumps you up to the point where you start getting extra natural protection from your Earth magic. So his protection is even higher than normal. He has natural protection 12, which means that casting, say, Stone Skin actually would barely help him. He can just freaking temper flesh and go in. That's all he needs to do, really. I've given him a main gouge of parrying and the Shield of Valor that I took from the Troll's Lair. This is definitely a suboptimal gear loadout, but I might as well give them to him. They're not doing any good in the lab. Over here, it does look like Pythium is going to fort up in Gold Crags, which I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest. They've rehired the Black Fists, their Maceman mercenary company. So I couldn't easily push them out even if I did want to go to war right now, which I don't particularly. So that's just going to have to be too bad. I am going to war with Phasia. Now, Phasia attacked Ulm and had them under siege. And this turn, Ulm broke the siege and killed the small army that was holding him under siege and their pretender god, who was an earth snake. Phasia does have like 5 or 6 forts. I think he has 2 here, that one, he's building one here, and then apparently he has 2 more down by Ulm. I've been in contact with Agartha, who has been taking over the water, and Agartha is going to push Phasia out of the water and probably besiege their capital, which is fine. I'll have to deal with Agartha having that extremely rich and wealthy capital later on, but for now, okay. That's okay. I'll accept it. He has promised to leave me a couple of these provinces up here, so I will just I'll just move in with some of my little aquatic duders and take those over in a little while. For my moves this turn, we're breaking the siege, of course. I have this little army with a Water Sage casting Numbness, which is a really good debuff spell. It's basically the opposite of quickness. It also causes the enemy to suffer extra fatigue. So it lowers their attack and defense, lowers their combat speed, and gives them extra fatigue. It's a fantastic little spell. Backing up, 27 Helix is going to move in here against this Earth Reader, wipe this province out unless they've stacked a whole bunch of province defense here. I'll break out this turn, and next turn I will attack both of these 2 provinces. I'm hoping that I'll still be able to get this one before he finishes the fort, but if not, I get a free fort, because there's no way he can defend it, not for long. Especially not once Aristottle goes back to pumping out troops here. Up here, I'm site searching over here. I've finished upgrading this fort, so we are up to pumping out 1 Lizard Mage per turn. Since I have an extra point from the one turn where I only had 1 commander point here, I am recruiting an extra Trophimos commander, because I like those guys. Teleimenes and Helenos are taking armies, about 130 units all told. They're taking their armies, and they're moving over in this direction as well. Teleimenes is moving way over here, and so is Helenos. They're actually going to see if they can attack this throne, possibly not. I don't outnumber them enough for that to be realistic. I mean, they've got longbowmen, heavy infantry, and knights. And heavy infantry and knights are objectively better than my Helots. So I have a lot of units, but they're crappy units, so I'm not going to go into combat yet. Not until I have more research done, at least. I am researching evocation. In 2 turns, I'll have evocation level 3, and I think at the speed I'm increasing, the turn after that, I might only take 2 turns to get level 4 as well. Because, of course, all of my... well, not this one, but 4 forts actually, are now recruiting mages. I'm starting to recruit an Elder Cyclops here. That might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I do want Elder Cyclopses just kind of hanging around. It would be nice. And Elder Cyclops is honestly, I mean, if I have to, I can use Elder Cyclops as battlecasters, because they do have decent paths, and they're fire resistant, which is always a nice quality, plus they have giant hit points. I don't have any construction researched yet, so I may just recruit another Tyrant. Yeah, actually, let's recruit another Tyrant instead. Let's do that. Okay, we'll get started on yet another Tyrant. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. Pronos is going to move down here where I'll decide what he needs to do. I would like him to site search a little bit for Fire, Earth, and Death. That would be nice. And I also need to keep site searching for air, but I don't want to move guys down into these provinces because I'm worried that Phasia will raid them now that I've attacked that province. Now, he's probably pretty much fully committed against Ulm, but it would be a risk to move my sages down here. They'd have to be here at least 2 turns. I could get some province defense, but against an actual attack, it wouldn't really do anything. So I don't really want to risk my mages, and I want to keep my research high. So I'm going to hold off for now. But we'll get there. We will. I'm not making any air gem income, which is sad because I want air gems. I am making 1 point of water gem income from my lava lake, which is nice. So, yeah, I'm not going this way. I am going this way. And I'm going to keep going that way just as vigorously as I possibly can. I may actually stack up 2 tyrants over here for a few turns and just spawn mad healet warriors. Just healets for days. But we'll see what goes on. I am going to start recruiting mages over there as well. These 2 forts have actually swapped over to recruiting shackled mages, because they're very, very cheap. They give me fewer overall research points than sages do, but they cost me 2 gold per turn for 8 research points. So they're giving me research points for 0.25 gold each. Whereas, like the Trophimos Sages, they have 14 research points. They cost 92 gold a year divided by 12. They're giving me research points for more like 0.5 gold for per research point. And I'm starting to get to the point where I'm actually spending most of my money every turn. I've started to build yet another fort right here, incidentally. So that will help me spend all my money. But, yeah, I only have 300 spare gold this turn. And that's with 1 fortress not recruiting anything. If this fort was recruiting something, if I was recruiting oppressors or shackled mages or sages here and some troops, that would be all my money. And I like being rich. So we are definitely going to start recruiting out the shackled mages. That will also help me build up my communions. And I do definitely want some communions active over on this side by the time Pythium and I go to war. A time which I anticipate will be sometime probably pretty soon. I don't really want it to. I'm going to actually talk to Pythium and see if I can make peace over on this side so that I can focus on Shinuyama, because I would like Shinuyama to not be. I want Shinuyama to be dead. I want to take all of Shinuyama's stuff. Not that I don't like you, Grey Shrike. I do. You're a nice guy. But I want your stuff. So, gonna have to deal with that. In other messages, I got a little tiny bit of gold from Saren Forest. In Delca, I've got a sectarian movement. So that's this province where I'm building a fortress. I'm moving Fanon over with some just random troops to patrol in an effort to hunt out the unrest. I'm also going to kick up, since there's going to be a fort here, I'm going to kick up province defense to 11. I'll kick up province defense to 11 over here as well. By the way, Phlegra Fort province defense is utter garbage because it's healets. I mean, and it's just healets. Like, let me see. Can I even get up to the point where I have a giant? No. And so, like, Fort province defense, definitely don't rely on it to accomplish anything as Phlegra because it's all just healets. The only reason to even have it is to have a little bit of unrest reduction, which is nice when you have a guy sitting around capturing slaves. You want to keep unrest down. But then you can also keep unrest down just by patrolling with your dudes. Like Benim here is patrolling with 40 troops. These 40 troops are costing me a total of 10 gold per turn. He's costing me like 3 gold per turn. So for 13 gold, I'm holding all the unrest down, and I think that means I'm making my 13 gold back, at least most of it. So patrolling is definitely worth it for Phlegra. To be honest, I may not even spend the money on province defense for my forts. I might just not. I might not. Like, what if I didn't? It'd save me a little bit of money. Save me about 100 gold or so. I'm just going to have independent commanders sitting around patrolling instead. Because I have the troops and they're almost free, so I might as well. Scout coverage continues apace. Caverns of Gnex still disappoints me every time I look at it. I just can't hardly bear to look at its face. If it has a face. It doesn't have a face. I can't hardly bear to look at the face it doesn't have. We're building up some more troops in here, which is nice. I definitely need more warriors and less archers, because I already have a whole bunch of archers. Let's do that. Okay. Also, I could most certainly have dumped some more turmoil, because I am constantly running out of resources before I get anywhere close to running out of recruitment points. It's like, it's a little silly. I'm going to keep recruiting troops over here as well, just because I don't like the way Pythium's looking at me. I don't like the way these troops right here are sitting here looking at me all smug. You with your 60 troops. I've already got you outnumbered significantly. But your troops are better, so we're not going to make a fuss about it. But yeah, so Phasia is definitely going down. I'm going to just steal their provinces up here, and then ideally also steal some of these northern provinces, like these 3 central ones, maybe. I don't know, if there was an Amber Clan province, I would want it, but I think all the Amber Clan, if there are any, are down here, which is a problem, because Agartha was already going to be a bear to fight in the water, which I might eventually have to do, and if he has Amber Clan, it'll get even worse, because Amber Clan have water mages. But in any case, that is going to be the turn. AI Marignan is not doing anything particularly effective, but sieging down this citadel is going to be a serious problem. I'm going to need giants in order to do it, I think. And I'm not recruiting giants right now because I don't want to spend the cash. But I'll need to start building up Gigantes over here, because Gigantes have almost 6 siege strength, so they're very, very useful when it comes to sieges. And also they're just big and tough and beefy, so they can cut their way into castles pretty effectively. Cyclops warriors actually have 5 siege strength, so that might be a niche for them, bringing Cyclops warriors into a siege just to knock down the walls, because I mean, you can spam out a bunch of these guys because they don't require many recruitment points or anything, and just for the siege strength, and just have them. Yeah, might be a good idea. In any case, that's going to be this turn, and I will see you in turn 16. I'm sorry, I mean turn 17. I'll see you in turn 17. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is on our turn 17. We can see a couple of people have claimed thrones. The Silver Throne has been claimed in the name of Barana, and the Throne of Beasts has been claimed in the name of Tamamo no Mei. So that is Shinuyama. The Silver Throne is Abyssia. War Master is an Abyssian commander. So people are starting to grab those thrones. I have not taken this one yet. I think this is going to be a level 2 throne because it has quite a large army guarding it. So given that, if it is a level 2, it's going to be either Iron or the Throne of the Moon. I really hope it's the Iron Throne because Adepts of the Iron Order would be sweet. Admittedly, I don't really need the Crystal Forging Crosspath, which is what Earth and Astral is, but it would be nice, especially because it means I can forge crystal coins and also Starshine skull caps and get a lot of astral boosts. So that would really get my astral magic going if this is the Iron Throne. The Silver Throne, of course, does something similar, but you can't forge the crystal items with it. So for my money, the Iron Throne is much better. I'm not taking that just yet, though. I did, if we look at my messages, I took Digmore this turn from Phasia, so we have started the war against Phasia. I didn't bother to give him any warning beforehand. We've been unfriendly enough before that I think he probably ought to know. This had some province defense. This Earth Reader, who he must have gotten through a random event, or like taken from Agartha somehow. His blessing is nothing but affliction resistance, interestingly. And he has a commander who I think is from his province defense. So it's just province defense, and my Heelot warriors run forward, backed up by random cold bolts from my guy back here, who, it's about all he can do. He's out of numbness range. And so my infantry go in, and Jaguar Tribe are one of the very few units that Helots can actually kill one-on-one. So they swarm through, kill everybody. Very, very easy, very, very straightforward. And we got the Earth Reader too, which is nice. Then in Tifia, we broke the siege of our fortress. They brought up a few more troops, interestingly. So they've still got their 2 witch hunters, one of whom still has 2 fire gems. They've still got their heroine, who is lucky and inspirational. And then they've got a whole bunch of swordsmen and pikemen, plus they've got a few flagellants still. And as you can see, the flagellants all have random afflictions, as flagellants tend to do. They've also got a couple of Lion Tribe archers, but nobody cares about those. So, we buffed up our big dudes. We've got Aristwaddle here, pardon me there, with the 2 main gouges of parrying. And we've got HULK SMASH PUNY HUMANS himself on the field. So we just buff them up a little bit, and then we all go in. The infantry actually does do a decent job against Aristotle here, because he's not fully buffed yet, and swordsmen, while they're not great units, they do have high damage. They're kind of like barbarians in that way. Their relatively low morale is actually their downfall. So they hold these guys up for quite some time. Without gear and everything, it's a little bit challenging. We get some lesser fire elementals, but since there's only 2 of them, they're not all that threatening. So we burn them down, cut through the infantry. Unfortunately, Ms. Angelique, you'll see in a moment here, yeah, she's going to run before we can get to her, as do the 2 witch hunters, so we don't manage to kill them. And then my human troops run through the poison, and my giants and tyrants are poison resistant. 5 points, which is enough to make them basically immune to poison breath from HULK SMASH Puny Humans. But my human infantry are not. Also, HULK SMASH was set on fire and took a whole bunch of fire damage at the end there. So the poison and fire damage at the end killed a whole bunch more of my troops than really needed to die. But I'll trade 22 helots and a couple random other dudes for breaking free of the siege. So, those were our battles this turn. Mekonians has retreated to their capital. I don't know if their heroine died or not. I hope so, but in any case, Aristotle and HULK SMASH are going to go take these provinces. HULK SMASH is taking our few remaining infantry with him. And he's going to cast Resist Lightning, and then he should cast 1 second spell as well. That only has range 15. Earth Meld's range 25. Yeah, let's cast Resist Lightning, Earth Meld, and then attack. So Earth Meld will hopefully stick some troops in place for a while. These guys will all hold an attack or hold and fire closest. And they're going to go in as well. We're also going to bring Antiphates with us, because he can spam Earth Meld as well. So Antiphates, they are all going to attack this fort site. I anticipate there are going to be enemies here. If nothing else, province defense. It's possible, it's even possible that he has some free units over here that he will sail over to reinforce. I think HULK SMASH should be able to handle it, especially when backed up with Earth Meld, and with a few troops to serve as chaff. Actually, what I probably will do is, I'll take these 5 and tell them to guard Commander. So they'll be right around here bodyguarding him. Until they die, which they will. I do want Aristotle to take this province. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of annoying. If I wanted to be, well, if I want to be safe, I should probably send him with the gang. What research am I on? I'm on evocation level 2. My research speed is picking up. Still not great, but it's getting there. I'll probably hit evocation level 3 in like 3 turns. I would like to take both provinces at once. And you can't hit that province. Okay, you just come over there. Actually, let's send everybody down to this province, just in case. So yeah, Iron Skin, Resist Lightning, attack closest. You definitely want the Resist Lightning, because Iron Skin makes you shock vulnerable, and Resist Lightning cancels that out plus some. So against an air nation like Phasia, if you're going to use Iron Skin, you should use Resist Lightning as well. And in fact, you should probably use Resist Lightning even if you're not using Iron Skin. It would be even more effective. But yeah, I think this will allow things to go just fine. We're actually going to spread out just a little bit. Get my infantry like that, get him like that, get them like there, get him right behind the infantry where he's relatively safe, and get him over there and set him to stay behind troops. Okay, so they'll go down here. A fort's being built here. Hopefully I will take it before it's completed. There's another fort being built here. It's a castle. Actually, it's already here. And he's recruiting Phasian light infantry and militia, it looks like, which aren't very dangerous. My biggest risk at the moment is actually going to be AI Mekonians coming after me. So I'm going to get this guy. He's site searching for 1 turn. After that, he's going to come over here and replace Aristotle as the slave factory in Tifia. I need to get more site searching done, which is why I'm doing that, because I desperately, desperately need gems. Although, to be fair, fire gems, okay. Earth gems, okay. Death gems, okay. I could use more... I could use some air income, badly. I could use some water income, badly, because I do want to be casting water summons pretty soon. And I could definitely use some nature, because I need nature gems like the desert needs the rain in order to gear these guys, and in order to forge nature items that might be useful against Ermor. So, I've got one lizard moving around to site search. I've got a second lizard that I'm sending out to site search this turn. My third lizard I will also send out to site search. Only then will I actually start massing lizards in this province. Those first three are going to go site search every province for nature and astral 1. And it'll take them a while, but it's worth doing. Ionis is already searching for more earth sites. He hasn't found any yet, because he's a slacker. I still don't want to move these guys out, because I'm still worried these provinces are going to get hit. And that's part of the reason why I'm waiting one more turn with Pronos, because if a Phacian raiding party hits one of these provinces, Pronos moves fast enough he can get there and take it back the turn after. This army is staying here while Cadmos searches for water sites here. I don't think Phacia actually had time to search this province. They had built a temple and a laboratory, which demonstrates to me that they were definitely planning to build a fort here. And in fact, Phacia seems to be planning to build a lot of forts. I can see a fort there. I've been told there's a fort here. There's one fort here. One was under construction here. And I've been told there's 2 more down near so in this area. So that's, like, more forts than I have, and I have quite a few forts. Yeah, I have a little more than the average number of forts right now. Like, right now, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 in Pythium's territory. I have 5. And another one under construction. Be done in 3 months. Which I would say is better than average. Phacia leveraged the extra income from their capital, and they apparently have built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... with a 6th under construction and possibly a 7th. I don't know if it was actually under construction here or not. Plus their capital for a total of 7? 6 or 7? That's a lot of forts. That's doing pretty well. He's going to go down though, just because he's pissed off Agartha, he's pissed off me, and he's pissed off Ulm, and he failed to conquer Ulm, and his god was killed. So the Earth Snake is dead, along with a fairly significant concentration of Phacian troops. And we can pretty easily at this point knock him back to the capital. Agartha said he's besieging the capital this turn, and of course I'm taking out these provinces. Or, well, this province, I should say. So, I don't think Phacia is all too long for this world. In world news, Ermor, whose capital is actually this province, I thought it was this province, it's actually this one. Ermor appears to have beaten back an attack by Celeria, which is a little bit problematic. Their dormant god has woken up, and their blessing is active, and they have a very serious blessing. They have quickness, and what else? Well, I saw a screenshot of their blessing from a guy who had a scout in the province. In any case, they've got a very serious blessing for their sacreds, and they have been summoning lictors, which are their most valuable sacred unit. So they're pretty scary. Oh, it was fortitude, so half damage from all normal weapons. There's a fort here that Celeria had built in their cap ring. Ermor just took it back, broke the siege on their capital, then moved up and took this fort. Celeria lost a significant army, including a large number of mages in that battle. So Celeria has a problem. And if Celeria has a problem, that means we have a problem. Now, part of the problem is, Celeria, if this is the extent of Celeria's territory, they are tiny. And that's a problem. I still don't know where Ur's capital is. Still haven't seen it, which means they've been doing alright, because if their capital must be, like, over here somewhere. So they've got a reasonable grip of territory. Pythium has a good-sized chunk of territory. I have a good-sized chunk of territory. Ulm, I presume, is not doing well, since their capital was besieged. And Phacia has bits and pieces of territory here and there, but I don't think it adds up to a whole lot. Now, their capital is hugely productive. I mean, Phacia's capital is the equivalent of, like, 6 provinces added together. So, I mean, you'll see my capital makes a little under 300 gold. Phacia's capital makes, like, 600. easy. So we can't really knock them out without taking that, but hopefully Agartha is on that. Agartha and I may have to have a gentleman's disagreement later on about who gets to keep the capital, but we will, of course, settle that like gentlemen in the traditional style by slamming our armies into each other. And that will be sometime later, because Agartha is also next to Ermor, and I am not interested in fighting anyone next to Ermor until Ermor is taken care of, done, and dusted. So, that being so, my moves, as I've said, I'm taking that province. I am reinforcing this province, just in case he comes to try and take his lab back. I'm searching here. I'm moving troops around to search here, here, and here next turn. Here, next turn, sorry. I'm moving this Indie commander down here to pick up these troops. I have 15 more gold, so I'll recruit one more to go with him, and then he'll move them down here to help defend against Mekonian, and I will be besieging Mekonian sometime soon. When the time comes to set that up, I will pump out a whole bunch of these Cyclops warriors for the siege strength of 5 each, almost, and take them in against Mekonian to ensure that I can knock down the walls in some kind of reasonable time, because wall integrity 750, hoo boy, that is going to take some knocking down. I'm going to have a very, very significant army to accomplish that. AI Mekonian has a significant army over here, but it's crap, it's just independent garbage, so even my Helix will be able to deal with that. At some point, I will, of course, want to take this throne. Not immediately, though. I'll want a couple of tyrants, possibly my god. What I actually want to do is I actually want to ram a scout into it to see what it has. So let's do that, and let's just set him on retreat all the way at the back. So let's toss a scout into it. Hopefully he should be able to retreat to one of my provinces, but if he dies, it's just a scout. And we'll figure out exactly what they have there so we can plan for it precisely. Pythium, I've had discussions with him. He doesn't want to go to war, but he is building a fort here, which I anticipated, and which I knew, because I have a scout here. I'm not a big fan, but to be fair, I mean, I do have 2 forts on the border with him, so I can't exactly complain. That said, I'm not thrilled about it, and I will want to take it at some point, but that's gonna have to wait, because, of course, I'm busy dealing with this situation. And, as I've said before, after that, probably Shinuyama is the person to deal with next. Shinuyama does not have great forts. They can upgrade them to have higher wall integrity, but they don't have great forts, which is good. I have very, very solid forts. I can upgrade to giant castles. My level 2 forts, my giant fortresses, have 500 wall integrity, so I have pretty solid forts. So I'm not too worried about being assaulted. But okay, that's going to be the turn. I'm not doing much else. I am still spamming out troops here and here. I've cut back on troops over... I'm still recruiting troops there. I've cut back on troops in this province because I already have quite a lot. Benim is doing my patrolling over here with 40 units. I feel like 40 units is a decent garrison, to be honest. Unless I have a specific reason to need more. Hippolytus is moving down here. He's going to do some site searching and then also have him be moving south in order to help defend the coasts if necessary. And we will see what the future brings. I do not anticipate that taking out Phasia will be all that hard, because he's just taken a serious blow over here from Ulm. And with Agartha attacking his capital to lock that down, I shouldn't be in too much danger. I'll have to deal with the production of this fort, but it won't be too much of a problem. I mean, it's just 1 castle. And I have a castle and 2 tyrants available almost immediately. In fact, I'm recruiting another tyrant next turn, so I can move him over here as well. Then I'll have effectively 4 forts worth of infantry spam, and so I'll be able to just crush him with numbers. This early in the game, he won't have the research necessary to absolutely stop me. At best, if he didn't research, if he went straight down evocation, he might have Thunderstrike at this point. If he has Thunderstrike, that would be dangerous, but he doesn't have many A3 native mages, so he would need to have level 5 for Storm, and level 3 Conjuration. I'm sorry, level 2 Conjuration for Summon Storm power. So that's a little bit more research than I think he could have accomplished by now. And with this rush, I think we're going to wipe him out before he can have Thunderstrike or any of the really serious damage spells. Now, Ermor is also a situation I have to keep an eye on. It's not one I can actually do anything about right now, so I'm not worrying too much about it just because there's no point. Ermor's Sacreds are very, very dangerous and very tough. However, they don't have fire or shock resistance, so they are vulnerable to damage evocations, which I have in plenty. My Sages can spam damage evocations. My Communions can spam damage evocations once I get my Communions set up. I'm not too worried about it. If Ermor comes after me, I'll be able to meet him pretty easily, especially once I get Flaming Arrows and other spells like that up. Once I research Enchantment 4, I'll have Flaming Arrows from my Tyrants at will, and that will mean my Helots turn into Ermor murdering machines as well. So, that's all I have for this turn. Next turn, of course, we'll take that Facium Province, we'll bounce a scout off here to see what's up, and we will continue prosecuting the war in this little pocket, while also slowly prepping to go up towards Shinuyama. I am a little worried about that. Ideally, I would like to have a 2v2 against Shinuyama, but that's not going to happen until at least Ermor is destroyed, or securely locked down. It would probably be Agartha that I would go to help me about that, or possibly Vanheim, but probably Agartha. So, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next turn. Alright, it's turn 18 of Honor. Lots and lots and lots of movement this turn. Let's look at messages real quick. We've hit Evocation level 3. We're going up to level 4 for Thunderstrike. We searched 3 provinces for magic sites, didn't find any, which is kind of to be expected. It feels like a waste of mage turns, but this is important. Searching for magic sites is valuable. In my Machaka game, I didn't do enough of it early enough, and that was one contributing factor to my my not doing as well as I could have done. Now, to be fair, more gems wouldn't have helped me all that much against what happened, but more gems is always better, especially for Phlegra, which is going to use a lot of gems forging and a lot of gems summoning, I think. Tianqi is attacking the AI Mekonians. They crushed a pretty substantial army here for very few losses. Mainly, I think, just off the strength of their infantry. Mekonians' infantry is not very good, and Tianqi's army infantry is quite good. They also have these Imperial Crossbowmen, which do armor-piercing damage with their crossbows. Very, very solid. They do have a Minister of Magic back here, who is a 2-air random with 4 air gems. Not sure what he's going to do exactly, but you can see the crossbows are laying down significant fire. The footmen are going forward with their glaives, so these are high damage footmen. Zongqui, he doesn't appear to actually be casting anything. So, the pikeneers are contacting the Tianqi footmen, and getting stabbed down pretty effectively. The Mekonians crossbows are being outshot by the Tianqi crossbows, and in come the Imperial Horsemen, which are some of the elite cavalry of Tianqi. They have a lance attack, they have a high damage falchion attack, plus a hoof, so they do a lot of damage in melee. They get 4 attacks per square despite being size 3. And their attacks are quite high damage. You can see they get into these unprotected Lion Tribe archers and just start ripping them apart. The Mekonians' infantry is gone, and their archers are now being slaughtered. Not much left on the field. Their commander is running away, and this Inquisitor is also running, Giuseppe D'Amigo, but I think he's going to be caught by the cavalry. Yeah, he's going to be caught by the cavalry, and yep, stabbed to death, looks like. So yeah, the Inquisitor died, the Paladin got away. Interestingly, Paladins are combat casters, but they only have Priest level 1, so they're not really very effective casters. Friars are Priest level 1s and stealthy. But yeah, so basically, the Imperial Crossbowmen did some damage, the Footmen did most of the killing, and the Imperial Horsemen also did a significant amount of killing. Losing 2 Imperial Horsemen, it's not too bad, since this is quite a large army. In Steppe of Wild Horses, I bounced a scout off of this throne to see just exactly what it has defending it, and the answer turned out to be wizards, which I suspected. I suspected there were going to be wizards. I did not know that one of the wizards was going to have Fire 4. That's, like, serious magic right there. He also, of course, has a bunch of fire gems, so I can guarantee when I attack this throne, this guy is going to spam fire elementals. Now, fortunately, my Gigantes have fire resistance, so against them, fire elementals are not terribly effective. This guy has 2 levels of water, so he will probably summon water elementals. This guy is 1 path in a few different things, which isn't terribly effective. I'm not worried about him. Similarly, this guy, he's 1 path in a few different things, not terribly worried about him. This throne does have a number of knights, which hit very, very hard with their lances and their 2 attacks. They're like Imperial Cavalry, but actually a little bit better. High protection, very high defense skill, and pretty good attack skill. Now, they've got some heavy infantry, which are solid troops. They've got a bunch of militia, which are garbage. And they have a bunch of longbowmen, which are better archers. So overall, my Gigantes backed up with tyrants will be able to cleave through most of this without much problem. The only real problem will be this guy spamming fire elementals. I think I'm going to have to recruit a few turns worth of Gigantes from my forts and send them down here in order to clear this place out with a tyrant or 2. That force, like I'm thinking maybe 20 Gigantes and 2 tyrants, should be able to take this province without all that much trouble. I also attacked Gintmark. This was an actual battle, albeit not a serious one. I brought in a few troops, my god, and 1 tyrant. And on the other side, we have province defense, and I think you can see how this one goes. The poor brave province defense runs forward, gets stabbed. I throw some poison ill-advisedly to kill my own helots, because I hate helots and want them to die, apparently. And we get to the end of the battlefield, and a helot dies from poison, and 1 other helot survives with 2 hit points. Good job, dude. Yeah, 2 helots killed, I think both by me. In the Silver Swamps, Uruk moved in to steal a province off of Phasia. They have a significant stack of their Enkidu troops. The Enkidu Iron Warriors are the biggest threat here, because Enkidu Iron Warriors berserk, which means that they won't rout. And when they berserk, their attack skill goes up to 12. Their damage is extremely high, 24 slashing damage from their axes. So they can hurt my giants pretty effectively. They only have 14 protection themselves, and their defense skill will be low, so my Gigantes can hurt them right back. But they're also quite a bit cheaper, so it wouldn't be a very effective trade. Enkidu soldiers are just sort of solid giant troopers. Enkidu warriors are Enkidu soldiers but do a little bit more damage. He doesn't have any mages or anything in here. This is solely a troop stack. I have been in contact with Uruk talking about things, and he seems relatively friendly, so there shouldn't be a problem there. He's actually a new player who says that he started playing the game thanks to watching my videos. So, hey dude, glad to have you with us. It's always nice to know that I'm having an impact on people. Forgive me in advance if I end up killing you. It just happens in the game. Mekonians attacked Tianxi and wiped out province defense over here in the Forest of the Lost, so they got a little bit of their own back. But compared to the battle in Amictlan, that was very unimportant. This was a significant army that was destroyed. Bunch of random events. In Saran Forest, got some unrest and lost Pop. Unrest there. Brigands attacked Saran Forest because I didn't have much defense there. And we got Misfortune and Magic in Jerib, which doesn't affect me because I already have Misfortune and Magic. In Saran Forest, I was attacked by villains, and to be honest, this is a really crappy attack that I would have actually beaten if I'd had some province defense here, but I didn't. I only had 1 point, so whatever. There's a few. I've lost Saran Forest for a turn. One of my scouts was killed in Gold Crags. I could see exactly what is there. It's primarily Principes and a few Macemen with their mercenary captain. He does have a caveman champion, so he's recruited that. He's got a Legatus Legionis and a Theurg. So he's got one of his mages over here. He's obviously, as he told me, he's setting up a fort, which I'm just going to let happen. I'm not going to raise a stink about it. It is what it is. Movement-wise, I have been informed by Agartha that Phasia is now under siege. It's got a stack of Agarthan elites there. There's a stack of Agarthan elites here. I have my scout on this fortress, this fortification. So Phasia is basically out of it at this point. He's lost the oceans, except for the northern ones. He's losing his forts. He's in a bad way, and he's not going to be able to recover. This fort I am actually going to leave for Ulm. We've also discussed, Ulm has sent me these free magic items. These main gouges of parrying that I'm using. He's been friendly. I like him so far, so we're going to let him take that fort in the spirit of friendliness and cooperation, and because it frees me up to focus on besieging Mekonians, which is a much greater prize. If I can take Mekonians, I will of course get all their gem income. I will also get a better fort with a higher administration and 3 commander points, which means I can recruit either a mage and a commander every turn from this fort, or I can recruit 3 mages every 2 turns. That's big, and I would rather focus on this to get this before Tianqi comes in and tries to take it for himself. So, in the interest of pursuing that, I'm shifting a whole bunch of guys around. First of all, I'm moving to do a lot of site searching. I'm moving out these air random sages to site search. This earth random sage is moving down to site search. My lizards are site searching, and another lizard is moving out to site search. This water guy is moving to continue site searching along the coast. My research has really tanked because I'm moving so many mages, but it's gonna have to be okay. I did hit evocation level 3. I'll get evocation level 4 pretty quickly. It'll be fine. At level 4, I'll also get Acid Rain, which is a pretty cool spell because it's armor piercing, can't be resisted, and causes rust. So that's nice. And of course, I'll get Thunder Strike, which is the big prize at level 4. Once I hit evocation level 4, I will probably pause. I'm going to have to kind of reassess, and I'm not sure where I'm going after that. One strategy, of course, would be to go straight down Enchantment to get Flaming Arrows, and then down to level 6 to get Heat from Hell. I hadn't been thinking about this much earlier, but Heat from Hell actually works really, really well with Tyrants, because it gives everybody who isn't fire-resistant fatigue. But Tyrants are quite fire-resistant, and when they cast Temper Flesh from Alteration, they'd be even more fire-resistant. So, since they berserk and won't rout when they're berserk, and since they're fire-resistant, so they won't be getting extra fatigue from Heat from Hell, if you have a Tyrant with some basic reinvigoration gear, he should be able to cast Summon Earth Power to get more reinvigoration, cast Heat from Hell, and then basically just go into combat, and so long as he isn't killed outright in combat, he'll eventually win by default, because everyone else will fall asleep, and he won't. I think the one core part of that strategy would be having a whole bunch of Helots with the Tyrant, and when the Helots die, it won't matter because the Tyrant is already berserking, ideally. So it feels like that could be a good niche way to make things work. My other moves, I'm moving this guy up here to retake that province. I'm moving Pronos over here to join the assault on Mekonians. I'm actually going to move him through the fort, I think. Well, actually, I want to move him through there because Phacia might come out to try and attack me, and if they do, him and his 3 Gigantes will be able to just absolutely ruin them. Like 20 Phacian light infantry, 30 Phacian light infantry and militia. No, they don't have a prayer against a Tyrant and 3 Gigante warriors. I'm moving my Merman captain with his turtle warriors over here to this province to pick up these turtle warriors. I'm recruiting a few more turtle warriors, and I'm going to bring them down here and try and steal one of Phacia's underwater provinces that he's recruiting these random little Triton guards in, just so I can get into the water. Agartha and I have been fairly friendly so far. He's agreed to let me take some of these provinces, so I'll take a couple of underwater provinces, and we'll see where it goes from there. Probably not particularly anywhere, because Agartha can throw me out of the water anytime he likes with his amphibious troops. But I do have water random mages, so if I can get into the water with water random mages, I could at least, like, summon water elementals and stuff. It puts me in a position to sometime later in the game make a play for Phacia itself, which is a hugely valuable province that Agartha is about to take, and it's going to give Agartha a big boost, both for the gem income and for the standard income. I mean, like I said, this province has like 600 income. It's crazy. Otherwise, I'm building my palisades here. That'll take 2 months. Martu is, of course, searching for sites, and I think next turn he'll build a lab here so that I can start pumping out shackled mages from there as well. I am starting to reach the point where my upkeep is growing enough, and my income is not growing enough, that I am going to have to start recruiting cheaper mages out of necessity rather than desire. Other than that, mages, scouts sneaking around, all these troops are moving over here to besiege Mekonians, along with all of these troops and my tyrant and my god. Mekonians should not be able to stop this. A, they're AI. B, they shouldn't have much research given how early they went AI. And C, they just don't have the troops. Their flagellants could be tough, but their Baphomet. Baphomets are not terribly dangerous in actual combat. So, should be able to deal with it even if they start coming out after me. I'm recruiting a whole bunch of Cyclops over here because they have 5 siege strength each. Gigante Warriors actually have 1 point more, but Gigante Warriors also cost more and cause unrest and all that stuff, and they cost more recruitment points, and actually I guess I could... Yeah, I'd have to give up 2... I have to give up 2 Cyclops in order to get 1 Gigante, and the Gigante won't be led by humans. So yeah, we're just going to pump out a whole bunch of Cyclops Warriors, bring them in here, help siege this place down. It's going to take a while, because 750 wall integrity. They've probably got like 20 or 30 siege defense in there right now. Right now I have 69 siege defense with 98 units. So yeah, they probably have like 40 siege defense inside there. Total siege strength I'm moving in this turn is about 130. So assuming I don't lose much, which is of course always an assumption when it comes to Helix, I'll still only be chipping them down at like 70 per turn or something like that. It'll take a while. Bringing in the Cyclops will help that because these Cyclops here are by themselves like another 50 or 60, and I'll be able to churn out more and send more over. It'll make it a lot quicker, and I don't have much by way of worries about the actual battle once I break in, because I'll have 2 Tyrants, I'll have a few Gigantes, and I'll have Hulk Smash. And so overall, I'm not too worried about it. Research-wise, I've already talked about research. I am having Hippolytus search. I'm moving him around to site search because I just need sites. I need gem income. If we look at my magic resources, my gem income has just not increased since the beginning of the game, hardly. I found this province with the lava lake, gave me 1 fire and 1 water, but beyond that, I don't think I've actually found any magic sites except the Jervalan Wall. Oh, I found the Haunted Village that gives me a death gem. So there's that. I am accumulating quite a number of gems, and I need to start using them for things. Which is why, here, I am starting to recruit a Cyclops. So in 2 turns I'll have a Cyclops. I'll be able to move him around to site search if I don't have construction yet. But at some point as my research builds up, I will grab at least construction 2, which in a couple turns here should only take me 1 turn, because I'll have 150 research points very, very quickly. I actually had 150 research points before I started moving all my mages around. But I definitely, the air randoms especially, I want air sites. I want air gems. I want fire and earth gems too, but right now I want to establish some kind of air income. I also want to establish some kind of nature income, which is why I'm moving around all these lizards to search for nature and astral, but it's going to take a while. So that's the turn. We'll put Mekonian under siege. We've had a discussion with them. We've had a discussion with Ulm down here. Shouldn't be too much longer, and things will really start kicking off. So I'll see you in the next turn.